If you are a beginning writer, or even a writer who's semi down the road but hasn't worked with any professionals in the industry yet, I think the best thing you can do is read. And not just pick up a book and read it and, feel good about it, but read as you would a writer. And what I mean by that is noticing things more than just how you're feeling about a book. You can do that, and that's great. But reading as a writer means that you sit with something and you notice, okay, how do we know that this character wants that thing? What specifically did the writer do? And then we look at structure. So when did the story get really tense and suspenseful? Like, how far along was that in the book? And how did the writer do that? Was it all of a sudden kind of tension, like a cliffhanger kind of thing where you turn the page because you had to know what was going to happen? Or was it a gradual buildup where you're slowly feeling dread over the situation? You can notice what is exactly on the first page. I'm teaching a workshop several times this year actually on first pages, where we just look at the first 4 paragraphs and we ask ourselves questions like, how do we know what genre this is? How do we know what kind of story this is? And those are different things. How do we know what the main character is going to be? As in like profession, stakes, conflict, anything like that. And you can do that with any book, no matter what you're reading. I highly recommend doing it in your genre because there's also this thing called genre conventions, where we're trying to figure out what is kind of the standard, what the expectations are when someone picks up, say, a fantasy novel. And how is that different from an epic fantasy novel? Or if someone picks up, something that looks like this. So we can look at this and we think, well, we know certain things about what this book is going to do. It looks like, at the very least, there's going to be some kind of romance or women's fiction kind of thing. We know there's a windmill, so we're going to have a certain kind of setting. And there's these weird, mysterious kind of handcuffs, so that tells us probably something in the romance genre. Hopefully, it's probably not a thriller, although if it was, that could be interesting. It'd be a certain kind of thriller, right? Because we've got this woman on the cover. So that's what we do when we talk about reading as a writer. And I have had videos in the past that you can find here on TikTok, or also I'm posting them on YouTube, where I specifically look at Shadow and Bone and break down the structure reading as a writer. And I think that would be a good place to start. If you have any questions about how you could do that, you can definitely put them in the comments or send me a message. Cheers!